What's up, guys? It's me, Jeremy, and this is going to be the first episode of a series I'm going to call Breaking the Meta, where I try out random builds of champions to find out how good they are, give a slight analysis on them, and then a conclusion at the end. Today's episode will be about Ahri, and how she performs under the role of an AD carry. Now, the reason why I chose AD Ahri first is that she actually has the potential to be a very competitive pick. She has Heart's EC, which can create for a solid laning phase, and an amazing escape, which can lead to an amazing teamfight phase. And she doesn't even lack that much, except for maybe some auto attack range and stuff like that. Alright, now let's go over the pros and cons of AD Ahri. Starting with the pros. The first is that she has Heart's EC. Her charm makes her laning phase really strong, as well as giving her some awesome utility to make some crazy plays, or simply just kite people who try to kill her. Next is that she has a true escape that can be used 3 times. This is one of the key things that makes her playable as an AD carry, as it makes peeling for her really easy, as well as allowing you to chase down targets, making her a very strong force in teamfights. Another pro is that she has amazing outplay potential. You can easily dodge every single skill shot with your ultimate, and your charm is also really strong in 1v1s. This is great because it allows Ahri to fit some dive comps where the AD has to kite for themselves because the rest of the team are diving onto the opponents, or because of your ultimate you'll be able to follow the rest of your team and dive with them as well. Ahri also has great synergy with competitive support champions. Her charm allows both players to hit all of their skills very easily, and she can do a lot of damage if protected properly as well, because she's an AD carry. The last pro I came up with is that she is an unconventional pick. This means most players will not know how to play against her, and if you can master the mechanics of her matchups, you will have a serious advantage. Now let's move on to the cons of AD Ahri. The first is that she is fairly squishy. This can make her susceptible to a quick death if you get caught. Even though you do have your ultimate, if you get CC'd you will likely get insta-gibbed, so be careful. Next is that she only has 550 range. This isn't that big of a deal due to your ultimate, but it still has an effect because you are in range to get hit by a lot of things while auto attacking in fights. Another thing is that she has mana issues. It's very easy to run out of mana, so you need to conserve it properly, as running out of mana on her is really bad due to your low range. Also, her auto attack damage is somewhat poor in comparison to other AD carries. You can still do very solid damage with your auto attacks, but she has no abilities to give her a buff on those auto attacks, so the damage is only as much as the items you get give you, and nothing more. In addition, her Orb of Deception and Foxfire abilities become almost useless once you get items, because it causes you to do less damage if you waste the time necessary to cast them, because while you're casting them you're not auto attacking, and even if you do cast them, because they have high range, those skills will do pretty much no damage anyways. The last con I came up with is that AD Ahri is very easy to snowball against and shut down. If you manage to kill her or deny farm, she'll become very weak and very easy to kill. If you lose your laning phase, she becomes very weak in teamfights since she has no buff to her auto attacks, so you have to be careful to at least get some farm in lane if anything happens. Now, this isn't really an AD Ahri guide, but I'll go over a few tips on how to play her. For playing AD Ahri during the laning phase, you want to poke down your opponents using your auto attacks and Orb of Deception. Once you get a good opening, hit a charm and go in for an engage and win an easy trade. Remember that you are squishy and have mana issues, so you want to just farm and harass as best as possible, while waiting for the best possible moment to go in. Just make sure that you can follow up on what your support is doing. For playing Ahri in the team fights, you want to make sure to stay alive using your ultimate and continue to constantly do damage with your auto attacks. Stay in the back to be safe and use your charm on anyone going to kill you or a squishy target that you can quickly burst down. And just make sure to do as much damage as possible while continuing to survive, which is of course your role in teamfights as an AD carry. I use a standard AD setup with 21-5-4 masteries, taking mana regen and utility, as well as 80 reds, armor yellows, magic resist blues, and 80 quints. For summoners, I take flash and barrier, and I max Q first and E second, putting points into your ultimate whenever possible. I start with a Doran's Blade and build into Infinity Edge for the auto attack damage, and then I build boots along the way and finish them up after the Infinity Edge. After that, I'll build a Phantom Dancer or a Static Shiv. Next, I go Blade of the Rune King for the 3rd damage item, and these 3 items will give you very solid damage on your auto attacks. For my last 2, I will build Last Whisper and Frozen Mallet, the order depending on if I need the tankiness or not, and that completes the build. Overall, I think Ahri is a fairly complex pick. She has a lot of strengths and a lot of weaknesses. I do think that her pros outweigh her cons though, and I do believe her to be a decent AD pick. The fact that she can escape divers such as Vi, Olaf, Jarvan, and Diana all by herself, unlike any other AD carries in the game, without anyone to help peel for her, makes her a solid force in teamfights, and allows her to fit a bunch of team comps. In addition, her laning is actually fairly decent as well. She does take a ton of skill to play though, but I can say that I do believe she is a very competitive pick, and I would play her in a ranked game if the situation was preferable. So, that's it for this episode of Breaking the Meta. I'd love it if you could support me with a like or some feedback in the comments, and I really need some feedback for this sort of series because it's the first episode. And if you have any questions, I would absolutely love to see you in the comments too. Also, I've made a Twitter and a Facebook page, so I'll have links in the description if you want to follow me on those. Please subscribe for more awesome content in the future if you enjoyed this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.